This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch. Hello, my name is Herman. Welcome to 2016. In the last 2 weeks, we have seen in most broadcast networks all over the world, not just here in the Philippines, how we have done in 2015. Sunod-sunod po yan, ano? Yung mga greetings, celebrations, purong kung ano naman sinasabi sa lahat, ang gagaling talaga nangyari dito sa Pilipinas. Ladies and gentlemen, everything we've heard based on 2015, based on the general broadcast networks, I somehow cringe. I have a difficult time trying to understand why and how they are very happy to announce the growth of the economy when I see the poor having a harder time. While you see the world in turmoil, everyone's greeting the greatness of the different leaders around the world. But never mind the world leaders for now, for this first segment. Let's try to go, the topic's going to be looking forward or going forward. The difference being one is aspirational and the other one is actually with the momentum of going forward. Unfortunately, we have until July this year before any changes will take place. As far as the MRT is concerned, well, the trains have arrived without the engines, having to put both together, plus the fact that Noynoy and Abaya did not lay themselves down in the track, well, we can see exactly where that's going. Then we have the issues of the licenses, the plate numbers. We have the problem of the Skyway that's going forward, but only looking forward because they can't seem to get all the rights of way wherever that's going. We have a lot of issues. We have so many issues, it's difficult where to begin. Now, I am known in my shows to be very critical of this administration. Our guests tonight are also quite known to be biased, if you must. But is being biased, being typically just critical and just because you want to tear down the next person because it's your modus operandi, if that's the way you really are? Or is it because we are trying to promote and show you the truth, trying to generate critical thought so that you will be in the know? How many newspapers do you read? How many journals, magazines? How many talk programs? Or are you with movies, entertainment, the Aldab series, the community, the small community that you communicate with? Or do you open your mind and try to find out or weed out the facts from what is being said? The problem with media, TV most especially, is we generate public opinion. Believe it or not, it is us right here that create this monster called public opinion. But are we winning or are we losing? Ladies and gentlemen, our guests tonight, you know very well, they're the senior hosts, correspondents right here on GNN. We have Mentong or Herman Laurel. We also have former Senator Tatad, who also has a show. Magandang gabi po sa inyong dalawa, and thank you very much for joining.
Magandang gabi, Harry. That's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, actually, I've never had the opportunity to be with you, Senator, on TV, although I did ask you to come on the show, which is perfect, which is fantastic, so many years back. Mentong, I met him many years back, and we've all enjoyed the programs, except for the fact we did not talk, if I remember right, during GMA's time, yung mga biases natin. It just seems to have come out. And why is it all of us here, or many of us here, the majority of us here in GNN are critical of this government, most especially Noy Noy. But never mind, don't answer that. Let's go forward. Looking forward, do you agree with me that Noy Noy and his government have done nothing but looking forward, pure aspirational? Kayo, Mentong.
Well, anong ibig sabihin ng looking forward? I think the survey in the last quarter says Filipinos are hopeful, things will be better, but at the end of every year, ganyan naman ang tingin ng Pilipino, you know? What else can they do?
But wait, go backwards a bit. Do you believe even the surveys? That's another issue.
Surveys na, maraming surveys, mga popularity surveys ng mga candidates, maybe yung 6.5 or 6% growth rate, do I believe it? GDP growth, I always call that GDP, gross domestic pain. Dahil pag tumaas ang presyo ng kuryente, that goes into GDP,
akit
pero
ng
the
GDP.
pain natin ay tumataas din. Ano? Employment issues and unemployment issues, underemployment issues, very fundamental yan in assessing whether we're doing better. Aside from yung mga obvious, you know, very visible lack of progress in the MRT, LRT, and so on, traffic and so on. The government claims that unemployment is around 6%, also 6.5%. Ano?
Supposedly bumaba.
Actually, it is up to 12.5% unemployment and underemployment. So around 12 million of our population, of working population, labor force of around 50 million is, around 40 million is unemployed or underemployed, severely underemployed.
No, but where do you find your figures? What is real? The surveys, which are promoted by media that promotes a reportage, which can be a fallacy. Where do you find the truth, the reality between what is real and what is not?
Well, sa mga political surveys, napakahirap asahan yan kasi it's very relative and very subjective. Ano? Sa economic surveys, it depends on who's doing it. You can see the contradictions between, let's say, Mahar Mangahas' SWS versus government surveys. No? And laging mas malaki ang mga problema pag tinitingnan natin even yung kay Mahar Mangahas, which when you go to political surveys, hindi maasahan. But sa economic, mas maasahan kasi you have a real basis to evaluate. What government does to make the economic statistics look better is to change and rearrange the
fudge it.
Valuations. You know? For example, if you say the unemployed lumiliit, sasabihin nila lumiliit yan kasi ang totoo naman, yung mga naghahanap ng empleo at walang mahanap for a certain period of time, tinatanggal na nila. So hindi nakasama sa unemployed figures. No? So,
Kayo, Senator, do you agree with all the things he's saying? You know, when Herman goes off, especially in his show, one would think, masyado mga anti ito eh. Because he's very consistent, he doesn't pause, he keeps going, and he rationalizes it with the guests that he puts on in his shows. And then you go into detail. Do you agree or disagree with him?
well, I agree almost entirely with what Mentong is saying here. But I think our main problem here is that you have a government that wanted to be believed as doing something real for the country, when it was not doing anything at all.
Well,
And
well
then
said.
we are treated to a lot of things sorbet. I think I am one of those who have been talking against sorbets because I don't believe the propaganda surveys that are being conducted, whether it is about the popularity and satisfaction ratings of politicians or the state of happiness of the Filipinos, etc., are to be believed. How the people behave in the community is observable to any layman. Okay? So you can see that the people are depressed, that they're fighting for something that they don't understand. After they come out with the propaganda surveys on the politicians, many of these are cooked, fads, whatever,
they throw in another survey just to make the previous survey credible. They throw in another survey about how happy or unhappy the Filipinos are. And since the data is observable, this is used to validate all the lying that has been going on before. But what is the reality, Harry? You have the nightmare called MRT, you have the traffic mess, etc., etc. And now everyone who wants to be in public office is saying, I'm going to solve this mess, I'm going to make the economy inclusive, because that is the new word.
That's the new word.
But we forget that Mussolini made the trains run on time. Hitler created the biggest economic miracle in the 30s.
He did that.
Yeah. That did not solve the real evil that was there in the heart of Europe.
So the propaganda media machine of Malacanang in the last 5.5 years has been very successful. Talo niya media overall because media has kowtowed to the Malacanang direction. And this is what we have been promised, we have been told, and the people believe in it. And they're winning the war. Tayo, for example, that open up and say, who become critical and bring out specific points, are losing. We are losing the edge, we are losing the popularity, and the people are not understanding what's going on, as you said.
I have a different take, Harry. We're not losing. The people are simply being, in my own term, idiotized through the use of the media.
Yes.
The media have been bought, corrupted, etc.
Agreed.
And they have become part of the power structure. This has not happened before, even during martial law. They did not become part of the power structure that decided where the nation is going to go.
So Noynoy has succeeded using this in the Liberal Party. They've succeeded in idiotizing the people.
If I may, of course, the idiotization is a process that has been going on for decades. Pero instead of looking forward or going forward, I'm going backwards and going forward. If you look at the record of GNN TV hosts being critical, it's really consistent because the system is dysfunctional. And therefore, there is no way to be honest and truthful if you're not going to expose all of these. The difference between GNN and ANC is that we never tell our guests that is a no-no. You cannot discuss that. You cannot bring that up. You cannot bring up the issue of electricity on ANC. Who owns ANC? Or Channel 5, or water privatization, and so on.
Yes.
And so we are critical because we need to criticize the system. And I think that is validated by the increasing impoverishment of the nation, by the increasing incompetence and inefficiency of the entire system, reflected in the MRT. Paulit-ulit na lang natin sinasabi yan, traffic
do the
and
people
so on.
care? Do the people even care for the truth? Do you see the people riding the MRT, rallying together and getting mad?
Well,
The rates are going up again this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
It just went up last year, at the beginning of the year last year. The services got worse. The lines in the queues got longer. But do we see them getting mad? When prices of rice continue to rise, do we see the people rising up? Buti pa ang INC, konting gulo lang. May yung leader nila, lahat nakikinig sila. Pero bakit sa atin, hindi yung contractualization, the brainchild of Drilon, in the old days. Contractualization, 5 months, 6 months. Meron ba nagsasalita? Nakikita ba sila sa mga SM, nagagalit, nagrarally? Bawal to, dapat bigyan, make us permanent with the benefits.
That is not the success of Noynoy. That is the success of Manny Pangilinan, Ayala et al. That is their success, and Noynoy
But why aren't the people standing up to the oligarchy?
Yung media, ganyan ang halaga. Kaya binibili ni Pangilinan at kinokontrol ng Lopez and so on ng media. And hindi tayo control dito. Kung merong mangmang dyan na tingin sa atin bias, hindi tayong mangmang, siyang mangmang. Dahil we're discussing the truth. We have to tell the nation that kung sinong bobo dyan, sabihin natin bobo sila. At yung mga matatalino makikinig sa atin, and yun ang magagalit. Ngayon, bakit hindi sumasabog? You can see the systematic suppression, systematic, very professional suppression of the will of the people. From the coup d'etat against an elected President Estrada to the imposition of Arroyo over 10 years, despite the rejection in 2004.
Pero pumayag ang taong bayan eh.
Hindi pumapayag. Hindi lang talaga makapalag. So, you see repeatedly that there are attempts in the electoral system for a parliamentary rebellion. Kahit papano, si Erap muntik manalo noong 2010 again. So, how long can the people be compliant with the system?
Compliant or subjugated?
Pareho.
Complete subjugation.
Well,
Are we subjugated as a people? Aren't we?
Yes.
We are.
Alam mo, Harry, I have a different take. You are saying that hindi nagagalit ang bayan. Nagagalit ng bayan, but not enough. No? Because each one calculates, lalaban ba ako, is this going to be my last fight? No. Tapos nito, uuwi ako. Nag-iisa ako. There's nobody with me. We are not an organized community to wage a common battle. And aside from the factors that we normally cite, we have to look at the external forces in control of our society. The elite is a very small elite that controls so much of the wealth of this country, is in league with the external factors whose interests do not coincide with ours.
kaya hindi maiwasan that we have to go into a discussion of the capability of the Philippines as a nation to liberate itself from the Western control of our economy and politics. Aabot tayo doon ng diskusyon. Kasi sino nagproproteksyon dito kay Ayala et al., kay Pangilinan? Sino ang boss ni Manny Pangilinan? Salim. Salim could not have survived the fall of Suharto, his patron, if there was no blessing from Wall Street in New York. And so on. So lumalawak ang diskusyon natin.
No, but we can. Let's go for. We're going to have to end the first segment and go on to the second. But in the second segment, rather than discuss the current issues as they are, which we've been doing, let's try and go forward. What to expect this 2016? Are we going to continue to get subjugated? Are we going to be the prisoners of the oligarchies? Are the nationals, are the different international companies, especially the countries and the corporate, will they continue to subjugate the Filipino and keep us where we are? I mean, is this the way it's going to be? Is that what we're going to look forward
That
to?
pins down the target, I think.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back and we'll discuss these issues. Now, mga sinabi po, narinig niyo po dito sa TV show nito na ganon. It's not because we are trying to be strong-hearted or strong-willed to try and point out something different. Ang tawag po dyan, may scene noon yan, ang tawag dyan, can you handle the truth? The difference is, the hard part is the truth sometimes is a sour pill, and we all don't like it. We don't like to hear it, because TV is really made for entertainment. But in our case, we are using it to generate what we call critical thought. And we only wish to free you from the bondage you don't realize that you are relatively chained to. We'll be right back.